Hi everyone, welcome back to Coffee, Books, and Rain. I am Rachel, and I bring you coffee, books, which are ebooks usually, and rain, which is actually hit or miss outside right now because we did have a 100% chance of rain, but it may have already 100%ed itself already, like earlier today. Anyway, kind of sad that my little spooky house, I went to go turn it on earlier, and the part that you turn on, went inside its guts. So I'm a little bummed by that. So Coles, kind of disappointed. Bummer. Yeah. So the little toggle that you turn on, off, or turn it on timer is all up in its guts right now, so I'm gonna have to disassemble it to try to figure out how to get that out. I don't know if it's really worth it, but my cauldron still works. He's doing pretty good, and I could turn on the little spooky skeletons, but their little LED is weirdly bright. So I mean, even my cauldron is kind of weirdly bright, but it's looking pretty cute. We'll leave it for now, but I did like the little spooky house. He was pretty cute. Anyway, welcome to another episode where we talk about books as per usual, because what else would we do on a book review channel but talk about books? I guess I could talk about the homemade bread that I made, but this is not a bread review channel because I would probably give myself a 6. It's good, it's squishy. Probably could have proved it a little more, etc., etc. Anyway, I am not Paul Hollywood. This is not Great British Baking Show, but I'd probably put myself in the elimination round or something like that. Anyway, I am talking to you guys today about Naomi Novik's Buried Deep and Other Stories. Honestly, it's a really cute anthology. I just finished it earlier today and had a really good time with it, because what this book does, it is actually dives into some of the... Sorry, the corner of this is kind of bothering my shoulder because it keeps kind of brushing it. It kind of dives into a writer's process as they think about their stories. It is almost like some of their free writing, or almost some of her free writing, as they work towards finding what works for them with regards to where they want to go with their story. And you can really see that with the Spinning Silver. And there is a little excerpt for Spinning Silver, and kind of where it seems that she started spinning silver and decided to take it kind of full force towards a kind of a different direction and flesh it out towards a full novel. But you could see where it started out and where she wanted to take it with regards to the bigger picture. I really like this sort of view of an anthology because it kind of gives you the idea that not, or at least some writers do start by writing smaller pieces of work and then turn them into bigger pieces of work. Now, it's not always true with all writers, and it may not be true with Naomi Novik for all of her works. I know that one of her pieces of writing, especially when it comes to, I think it was maybe After Hours. I think After Hours was one of the Scholarmance kind of stories. So Scholarmance is one that comes from and I'm just wondering if it was sitting here on my desk, and it might not be. Oh, no, I don't see it. Oh, right off. I dropped my spooky ghost, and it just probably woke up my neighbor downstairs. Oh well. Nope, I don't see it. Anyway, so Scholarmance is like the Deadly Education series, where we tend to follow Elle and a couple other characters through the Scholarmance, which is this really deadly school that has like no teachers, and pretty much you just have to survive to graduation. Um, anyway, this particular short story does not follow Elle. It follows two separate characters, and I thought that was pretty clever to see because we follow these two or three characters. I think it follows Beata, Janie, and Maceo, as they go on their own sort of adventure to do their own thing. And I don't want to dive too far into what they do because, again, I would prefer you to read it rather than me tell you what happens. I just want to give you nuggets so you go and see what it's all about. But that's my goal, is to see if these nuggets are intriguing enough for you to want to go and figure it out for yourself. If not, that's totally fine. Like, if this does not sound intriguing for you, I completely understand because not everything I talk about is going to be intriguing for you. However, if you enjoy Naomi Novik's writing, then this might be something you're interested in because you might be interested in seeing her kind of writing process develop through the development of these short stories. So, the first short story is kind of a woman who is kind of becoming a ship captain. And so she's more or less like an older daughter who is a little bit more of a tomboy, and they're like, oh crap, we're never going to marry you off. So the first person who kind of says they'll marry you, we're just going to kind of go with it. So they find someone who will marry her, and they're like, fine, yep, away you go. And put her on a boat. The boat crashes. Well, actually, the boat gets kind of like bombarded with pirates, so they dress themselves up like males. So then the pirates think they're guys, and I think it's called Aramanita. Aramanita, I think is what it's called. Anyway, so as they become pirates, or as at least this particular woman becomes a pirate, they think she's a male, and so she becomes one of the male pirates. And so she, like, as they are fighting a leviathan, she climbs up into the crow's nest, and she tries to guide them through like the ship's, like she tries to like guide them through this particular area that's really treacherous. Doesn't work. The ship goes down, and ultimately she makes a deal with this ancient force and brings the ship back, but she becomes the ship captain, not the previous guy, and she reveals that she is a female. And she is now going to be the ship's captain. So that's kind of where they leave off. Now, I think that would be a brilliant series to flesh out and find out more about. I would 100% read that. But then the next one is more of the Scholarmance tale, and so that one's kind of cool. Then there is one about, I think it's like Mark Antony and a dragon, like a real dragon, which is kind of cool. I thought that was fun to read. But this is a collection of about, and so I will go ahead and just dive into the summary. Like, I don't feel like a summary is super relevant when it comes to an anthology or comes to like a collection of short stories, because all a collection like this is going to do is pretty much tell you what the short stories are kind of about, which I guess could be relevant, but again, I didn't read the summary until afterwards. My goal for reading the summary is just to tell you guys if you're interested. And so if you're interested, here we go. A thrilling collection of short stories that spans the worlds of the New York Times bestselling author of the Scholarmance trilogy, including a sneak peek at the lands where her next novel will be set. hey, I don't even know about her next novel, so I'm intrigued. From the Dragonfield Telemaire series and the gothic magical hills of the Scholarmancy trilogy to the fairy tale worlds of Spinning Silver and Uprooted. Both two are my favorites. This stunning collection takes us from fairy tale to fantasy, not fantasy, myth to history, and mystery to science fiction as we travel through Naomi Novik's most beloved stories. In Buried Deep, we move from ancient Greece and Rome through the Middle Ages and the Black Death into the modern era. We meet Mark Antony and Sherlock Holmes, Elizabeth Bennet, in ways we have never seen them before. We visit exotic cities and ancient civilization among the stars. Through the stories. Oh, sorry. Gosh, I am so tongue twisted today. Though the stories are vastly different, there is an unifying theme. My gosh, my tongue is just not working today. There is a unifying theme, the act of finding and seizing one's destiny, and the lengths one will go to achieve that. Be it turning pirate, captaining a fighting dragon, or shifting from marriage to seek your destiny with a sword. And in the two tales original to this collection, two tales, we first re-enter the remade Scholarmance in the wake of Elle's revolution and see what life is like for the new crop of students. Then we get a glimpse at the world of Novik's upcoming series, a deserted land populated only by silent and enigmatic structural behemoths whose secrets are yet to be unlocked. So there you go. It is considered fantasy and short stories, fiction and anthology with dragons, and science fiction fantasy. I really enjoyed this because now at the end of each of these short stories, there is a little kind of caption or a little bit of like excerpt that tells you where each of these original short stories kind of came from with regards to like kind of maybe where it was originally published and things of that nature. Not all of them were originally published in a different work, but some of them were originally published in different places. So just kind of be aware that she did kind of have some of these published in different areas before culminating them into this work. And I think that's kind of smart of her to put them all together in this because I think it makes things pretty clear why she's putting them all together. I think it's nice to see an author who brainstorms her works and her worlds, especially once we've already seen kind of her worlds come together in series and collections, like in the Scholarmancy world and in works such as Uprooted and in Spinning Silver, because we've got the full novels already. So then we get these short stories in these novels, and we get these short stories that are maybe only 10 or 12 pages long, and we get to kind of see what I call derivative works that are much smaller, that kind of help us to see what she wrote, that are prequel like works, that are kind of the brainstorming works. So in my personal opinion, I feel like this kind of helps us see these brainchild works where the author was still fleshing out these ideas before they became what they became on the shelves, the things we loved, and I really like that. Now, this book will release September 17th of 2024, and it should be available, what I would imagine, in most major, I would assume at most major bookstores. If you probably have a small independent bookstores, you may be able to request this book to be available there as well. Naomi Novik is someone who has books that are widely published and widely distributed, so she is someone who has quite a bit of a following, so I would recommend that if these works sound like something you would enjoy, to please go out and find her. I personally fell in love with her works through Uprooted and then Spinning Silver. Then I followed up with the Scholarmance series. I have not followed yet with the Telomere series, but I am definitely going to do that once my reading workload has kind of lessened just a bit, which probably will lessen probably in somewhere December time frame, but we shall see. Anyway, if this is something that you think you would like, I hope you'll go out and find it. Please let me know if this is something you think you would enjoy. If you like Naomi Novik, give me a thumbs up down below, something like that. I guess we'll see. But thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you'll like and subscribe and all those sorts of things that just help me continue to grow my channel, because this is a tiny small channel where I just sit here, drink coffee sometimes. Sometimes I show you guys my coffee and then I don't drink my coffee because sometimes I feel like it's rude if I drink my coffee, and I don't know how y'all feel about that. But I swear it's here. The entire time that I'm here, I'm I almost always have a coffee with me. But then I feel like it's rude if I drink my coffee in front of you. But anyway, until next time, I will see you guys on the next page. Have a great one. Bye.